GT guy, why the heck did those DPI cars go to Cadillac rather from Chevrolet? Well, same engine they were using in the other car, which is no big deal. Marketing, purely marketing. I mean, I go look around. I was never a huge fan of this whole Daytona prototype Corvette thing. All right, I'm a product relevant guy. I don't see anybody parking a DPI out here. I didn't honk and wave at mom heading down the expressway while she was driving her DPI. Okay, I'm thinking taking a production car, going racing with it, learn something from it, and plug it back into the next generation of production car, and you got better vehicles time and time again. Thank you. But because we race in NASCAR, and the same guy who runs NASCAR runs this, and he saw what you guys do and what we do with you guys interfacing what was our old series, and he says, I want me some of that. You guys better bring something that sounds like Corvette over here. And if you recall, in the Grand Am days, that's when the decision was made. We were over at American Le Mans Series, and we brought the Corvette name, and Corvette fans, and ticket buyers, and beer drinkers, porta potty users. And we brought them to Grand Am to support that, which was good. That was good for us. That helped us in NASCAR, kind of smoothed over the bumps at the NASCAR hierarchy. So now we're at a point where now there's only one series, so we're here already with Corvette. And Cadillac's thinking, man, I might like get a little bit of that. And so it makes some sense from a corporate standpoint to divide that up. And when you think about it, having Cadillac run in the big series and having us run the GT series, if it works for them, that's cool. They also run in Pirelli World Challenge with ATSV, so they've got a little dual thing, and we'll see. I don't know what I'm not actively involved in the Cadillac thing, but I'm sure it's working for them. They'll figure out what they want to do, and right now they're spending money, and everybody's working, and the world's getting better and faster, and that's a good thing. So that's a short version of where we are. Marketing decision. Yes, ma'am. Well, I share the driver lineup? Well, of course. In the 3-car, I gotta think now who we have. It's, and they'll be here shortly. So it'll be Jan Magnuson and Antonio Garcia and Mike Rockenfeller from Audi will be with us. And in the 4-car will be Tommy and Oliver. And joining them will be Audi world champion Marcel Fossler, who has been with us before. So that's a inside story. This is good while we're killing time before the drivers get here. Are they on their way? Do we know? Yeah, going to pick them up? Okay. So I have been fortunate throughout my years to develop a reasonably strong personal relationship with a guy by the name of Wolfgang Ulrich, who was a director of racing for Audi. Because we share a lot of common interests outside of just car racing, like beer and women. Nothing wrong with that. At any rate, so we've had some great times together. So when I needed a third driver, I thought, hey, I'm gonna call up my buddy Wolfgang and see if I can get his 2 hot shoes. So I call up and say, hey, here's what I'm planning on doing. We're running Daytona. I said I want to use, Marcel and Rock. He goes, oh, that would be very good. Yes, of course. Of course we use those guys. They would love that. They get the free watch, right? Yeah, they get the free watch. He said, that keeps them happy. That keeps them happy. That's a good thing. Yeah, Judge, you take them do that job. Okay. I said, thank you, Wolfie. So we've used them for the last couple of years. So we fast forward to this past year. Now there's a huge rivalry, although they're owned by the same parent, Porsche and Audi, okay? There's a huge rivalry going on at Le Mans in the LMP1 class between the Porsche and the Audi, who's gonna win. And they hate each other's guts. That's just the way the Germans do business. If you get them to hate each other, they work harder to beat the other guy, and they don't really care who wins, so. At any rate, so they're not loving on each other very much. Porsche is involved in a GT battle, okay, with another man, Ferrari, and so they go to Audi, to Ulrich, and say, hey, can we use Rockenfeller and Fossler in our last 2 races because we're vying for this championship? And Ulrich says, no. And they said, well, what do you mean no? He says, no. He goes, well, you let them race with the Corvette guys. He goes, I like the Corvette guys. Yeah. I thought that was cool. So that's kind of the, backstory. Wes, what? I'm going to let you do that. Hold on. No, you do it. Yes, we will. You'll help me walk me through the dates and all the rest of it. So that's, I think, a credit to what we've accomplished, and that's how global relationships take place and how they affect what we do. The community is really tight behind the scenes. I mean, on the track we're doing battle. When that checker flag drops, it's one big community. As I like to say, we're all in the same boat. We just have a little different oar. We're all paddling in the same direction. That's what keeps it going, keeps you guys involved and engaged, and gives us a chance to do everything that we love to do. So, next question. Yes, Walt.
There's no GM products in the GTD.
There's no GM products in GTD. No. Well, the question is why? Because we believe that we accomplish everything, because they race with us on the same racetrack. We're, I mean, you can spend as much money as you want. Well, you could have cars in every series, but, it's just an equated value. If a privateer wanted to race a car, we could look at that. We did Camaro for a while in the Continental Series, and I think we're going to see maybe Camaro return in whatever's the new GT4 thing. We've got a lot of customer interest there, So we'll see some stuff, but it's you can't justify the expense of doing like a Corvette GTD car or a Camaro GTD car when we're on the same track in our own car with a Corvette. So there's no throwdown on GTD, but it's just, you look at the dollars expended and you're better off throwing it towards the high-vis deal. And the GTD thing tends to be, by the way they do the drivers, you got to have an amateur driver and a pro driver, and there's just not a real big upside to that. It works in Europe, but in the U.S. we want pro guys doing the best job you can do in everything we do. So it's viable, has reasonable value, but not such that would overcome what we're, overtake what we're doing with a big Corvette. I saw another hand back here someplace. Yes.
I'm sorry I didn't phrase my question correctly. I want to know who's driving first and about how long will they each drive?
You mean the order in which they will be in the car, and how long will they go? I have no idea. As I stand here right now, I couldn't tell you who's starting. And that's attributable to two things. Me being totally unaware of what's going on, to a small degree, but to a larger degree, I think it's a testament to the drivers, because it really doesn't make any difference. As I stand up here today, I don't care. I don't care who starts, because they're all of such equal capability that it really doesn't make a difference. As far as driving time goes, the weather tomorrow obviously will be very cool, so they'll for sure stay in, unless something's wrong with them, they'll be staying in the car for at least 2 stints to start off with. And they'll probably rotate through, and then as night goes on, there'll be some guys who will run the car runs about an hour on a tank of fuel, and we gotta come in, so you time your driver change whenever the car pits. So I would suspect that as night goes on, each one of them will pull a 3-hour stint, and then you get past the 12-hour mark and you look at where you are in the race and you look at the condition of the vehicle and how the guys are doing and you make that decision. But usually it's done in 2-hour segments. That seems to be that gives them then obviously 4 hours off, so they can go back to the motorhome and rest and sleep and come back out. Works out pretty good. Everybody pretty much does that same thing. Some teams will go much longer because they have a huge disparity in the driver skill level and lap times. If you have one driver who's there and he's 2 seconds a lap slower than other guys, you don't want him in the car very long. So we don't have that situation. All our guys are pretty quick, so it makes it much, much easier to do that. But I don't know who's starting. I mean, I'll find out tomorrow. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. Next question.
Doug, you mentioned gas could go an hour, tires could go.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I was just curious. Can you give us the numbers of bodies, people on a team?
Can I give you the numbers of people on a team? Yes, I can. What you see here okay? In other words, the people that travel with us, and that includes obviously the guys who drive the transporters, the drivers, okay, the crew guys. We have our GM propulsion systems guys who do the engines. We have some IT guys. That number usually is, for this event, around 40 people. At Le Mans, it goes up just a little bit because we'll have a medical team and a therapist team, so that number begins to tickle 50. At shorter races, the number goes down to between 30 and 35, depending on what we might be trying to accomplish at that event. But that's a pretty good round number for here. Yeah, that's a lot of hotel nights. That's a lot of per diem.
It leads me to another question.
And thankfully down here they don't have returnables on beer bottles, because that would be a...
You want to go to Watkins
Joking.
Glen? Everybody.
What?
You want to go to Watkins Glen?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Now, that leads me to a question of the pit crew alike. Are there backups for the pit crew?
The questions are there backups for the pit crew? No. No. When you draw the card to run this race, you'll be up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You'll get to the track at 7. You'll run whatever the morning warm-up is, and at 2:30 you'll start your 24-hour race. Then you run for 24 hours, those same guys. Then the race ends at 2:30, and they'll be here for 3.5 more hours after that race, loading up all the trucks. So you can do the math on that, but you're tickling 40 hours with no sleep.
My question was interest. What if one of them got first? What if the gas man got first?
Well, here's what because we have 2 teams, okay, you would then obviously cherry pick one from the other team that would fill that spot. He would do double duty, and then you'd have to be careful as to how you strategically brought your guys in to service that. You couldn't have both come in at the same time if the right front tire guy's down for the count.
Right.
Yeah. So that's how you fix that. Doesn't happen very often, but we're prepared to deal with that. Guys on the team have the capability to do more than one job. They are trained to do more, although the regular guys back at home in the shop, we actually have a pit wall configuration built in the shop with a concrete wall at the regulation height, regulation depth, all that dimension, and we have a car, an actual race car that sits in there, and every day at 2:30 work stops, and for 1 hour those guys run through pit stop drills, including driver changes. Now we have a guy that sits in there, but that's what we do every single day.
Can I be that guy?
Which guy do you want to be? Doesn't look to me like you're going to be getting in and out of the car very quick. Just saying. We might think about the fuel dead man thing for you. I mean, you have that skill level pretty evident. Okay. We do have fun with it, but it's a workout. It's just like going to the gym. It's pretty cool to see, because every single one of them is timed, and every single one of them is recorded, by the way. We have an overhead video recorder that records every one of those practice pit stops so that we can look at maximizing the choreography that goes on with that thing. Every motion is looked at and evaluated. And we've run through 6 or 7 different choreographed strategies on how to get quick. We've got it down. We're as good as we've ever been. And the guys are no younger, but they're dead set on being the fastest. And they work very, very hard at it. I'm pretty proud of them for that, because it's hard work. Very hard work. Anything else? Yes, sir.
Engine building, I understand they moved from an outside supplier to GM itself. Is that true?
Engine build, the race engine building. For the first 10 years of our program, our engines were built by a company in Mount Clemens called K-Tech, right? Which, by the way, did GM engine development work. They were like a powertrain subsidiary, for lack of a better term. I'm making that term up. That wasn't in their title. But they had GM people whose offices were right there. They did all our engines. When GM built their new engine laboratory facilities, they wanted to bring that in-house rather than use K-Tech. Just another brilliant GM decision. Anyway, as it turns out, most of the people that worked at K-Tech then went to the same place. It was the same people, just a different location. They had to drive further to work for most of them. But now GM Propulsion Systems builds all those engines for us and has for the last 7 years. So, and they do a marvelous job. Like I said, it's essentially the same people. So there was really, you didn't really lose a beat. It just was, you know, who you wrote the check to, kind of thing. And they've just now moved to the new system. We're doing that in Wixom, which was just across the street from the shop, which made it wonderfully convenient. But then in the infinite wisdom, they thought it'd be better to move it, you know, 30 miles away into Pontiac, Michigan. And that's where we are now. But the new lab there is just spectacular. It is a beautiful, beautiful laboratory, a great campus, and the work they do there has been, I mean, really, really good, really good. So we're quite happy with that. And it's, K-Tech was further away than Pontiac was, so I'm embellishing the story here just for a cheap laugh. Anything else? Drivers should be here. Where are they out there? Judge, look, see, look out, Ian Magazine, hands in his pockets, all right? Can you do any better than that? Sun shining on me, oh, let me sign this for you. Oh, yeah, okay, great, yeah. I'm getting paid for this. You want to take my picture? Oh, look over there, yeah. You guys that can't see him, that was pretty cool. So at any rate, we'll take this moment in time. Has anybody been to the Simeone Museum?
Yes.
Cool. Has anybody been to our event at the Simeone Museum? Very cool. I'm happy to announce that we've kind of, for lack of a better term, expanded that program and are going to be moving it now to Hershey, Pennsylvania. Anybody eat chocolate? Yeah, I knew I'd get that. And that's a town where they make chocolate. But apparently there is a massive automotive museum there. AACA. Oh yeah, I've been there. We're going to hold the event there. Yeah. It's going to be in the same time frame. Do we have a date?
October 20th and 21st.
October 20th and 21st, Hershey, Pennsylvania, and there is a beautiful hotel I don't want to say on-site, but it's on-site. Name of the hotel in case they want to Google it.
It's a Hershey Hotel.
The Hershey, of course. It's a brown brick building.
Wrapped in foil.
Rectangular in shape.
Wrapped in foil.
Wrapped in foil.
Wrapped in foil.
Yeah, wrapped in foil. Not a problem. So think about that. We'll be talking about this at future events, but we're going to get some support from the Corvette Museum, National Corvette Museum. The proceeds are going to the museum, or to the National Corvette Museum. We want to do something for them. It's going to be on their website. They're going to be promoting it. It'll be a similar deal. God willing, I'll be there. I think we'll have Tommy Milner will be there. Is Richard Prince still here? Richard Prince, he doesn't know it, but he'll be there doing a marvel. He has photographs from before the program ever raced. His presentation alone is worth the price of admission. So I want you to think about this. This is a great opportunity for everybody living in that corridor. Get your Corvette clubs engaged. Think about having a little caravan drive up. It's a whole weekend deal in a beautiful setting, beautiful museum, beautiful hotel, and then you got to listen to us. So that's the downside. The upside, the rest of it's a pretty cool deal. And I think it's less than $10,000 to do it. It's usually the biggest bargain on the planet. I don't know how they do it, but we'll have a dinner one night and we go through a whole, it's an amazing experience. I love doing it, okay? And we've had tremendous growth and you only have to talk to somebody who's been, give me a hand if somebody's been there. You been, how was it?
Yeah.
It was an excellent time.
There you go. What more do you need? Excellent time, okay? Take that home. Excellent. It doesn't get better than excellent. And this is even going to be better.
And Doug, let them know we're having the Earnhardt car.
Oh yeah, there'll be cars on display, and we'll have the car that, is it the car that we burned up or the car that Earnhardt
actually drove
at Daytona? In 2001, finishing third overall and second in GT or whatever he was. Yeah, the Earnhardt car will be there on display. I've already seen it. I'm going for the chocolate. Yeah, well, there's only 5 here, Walt. Pretty good. Yeah, exactly. Only took one hand too, didn't it? Yeah. These old people. All right, drivers are here finally. Yeah, here it goes. Oliver's not here. He didn't clear customs, and he's got some. He's being detained by the Trump administration for an illegal alien situation. Not really. I'm joking. Come on. Yeah, he can't be here tonight, but the other guys are here. Okay, which means that the autograph line will be a little bit quicker, and he'll be around tomorrow, so you can scribble on whatever you want. Starting out from Virginia, our homegrown farmer boy now, Tommy Milner. I'm happy to announce two things. Number one, okay, his dad, who's been a longtime friend of mine and a pretty good friend to Tommy, had been retired, is working again for Dr. Panos, running a new Panos race team. I think they're going to do World Challenge, right? Corelli World Challenge. So that'll be fun to get his dad back in the loop there because he's a great guy. He is a great guy, and I think. He's getting remarried too. He's getting married again this year, which I think is a pretty nice deal. Good for him. I'm very happy for him. Tommy, as you know, stepmom passed away a couple of years ago. So this is a good move for Tom Sr. and getting back to work and finding somebody new in his life at that stage in life is a great thing. We're all very, very happy for him. So, yeah, back. Next in line, yes, this is Dr. Ulrich's boy, Marcel Fossler. He's actually from Switzerland, so he stays in the middle of everything. Yeah, buddy. Glad to have him back. He always has a good time. And then our big old blabbermouth, Antonio Garcia. You know him. I hooked him up. We were golfing the other day at LPGA, okay? So I'm there the first day, of course, coming in early so I can exploit my job position. And I noticed the girl behind the counter, who happened to be tall and, well, attractive, and she spoke what I detected was a Spanish accent. Her name was B. I said, B, where are you from? See, I'm from Spain. I said, oh, really? I said, one of our drivers is from Spain. She liked her, really? I said, where are you from? She said, I'm from Barcelona. I said, I don't know where he's from, but we'll find out. He's golfing with me tomorrow. So how'd it work out? I don't know how it worked out because the next day we show up, he's there. She lights up when she gets a look at his cute little ass, okay? And they begin blabbering in Spanish, going back and forth for about 20 minutes. And then we finish golf and he comes to the racetrack. I never saw him again, so I have no idea what went on there. But Antonio, and by the way, not from Barcelona. Barcelona is like the Ottawa is the Canada. They want to be on their own deal. They want their own country. So he's a Madrid guy. He's a Barcelona. So at any rate, we have fun with that. And today we had an interesting meeting. As you know, we have the second fastest Magnus in here sitting on our table. Because the first fastest one works for Mr. Haas in Formula One. Yeah, Kevin, his son. Yeah, well, we think it's his son. Since he got accepted in Formula One, he says he's my son. Rocking share equity in that young man. At any rate, Kevin was here today. Obviously, one day he was doing a little tour of the U.S., looking at some of the Haas CNC machine facilities, went down to their NASCAR operation. It was pretty cool. I've known Kevin since he's just been maybe 6 or 7 years old, and now the guy's driving Formula One. It's crazy. And a great kid, great young man. And we had fun with him today. And I know Jan's tremendously proud of what he's achieved. Jan obviously spent some time in Formula One, quite unsuccessfully, I might add. And Kevin is trying to right that wrong and has done a marvelous job of doing so. So I think in his first race he finished higher than Jan ever did. So welcome aboard, Jan. We're happy to have you. And then our last Ulrich transplant, my boy Rocky, Michael Rockenfeller, right from Germany. Yeah? Jawohl? Yeah, he says, yeah. Tremendous history in GT racing. And it's a little different environment in Europe. They don't have near the fun we have here in the US, right? I mean, this is an environment in which these guys love to come. Not that they're any less serious about it, but the way the family works here, not only at Corvette Racing, but amongst everybody in the paddock. If you notice, the Ford success is due largely because they employed Corvette drivers, okay? That hasn't gone unnoticed. So they remain part of our family. Once a Corvette guy, always a Corvette guy. Rocky and I share a passion for timepieces, wristwatches, so we go back and forth trying to cheat each other out of buying and selling, and no telling what we're doing. But he's fit right into our program. We're very, very, very happy to have him, and he's done a marvelous job for us. And he wants that new Rolex Daytona with the ceramic bezel, and he wants it for free. He doesn't want to buy it. So that's why he's here. So with that, we have one more question. Anybody have some undying thing they need to know? This is the first audience in 3 years where no one has said, "Can you tell us about the mid-engine C8 and when we're going to get that?" You didn't ask.
I got a question.
Oh, no, too late. Questions are closed. You had your chance.
Is Holden going to start building Corvettes?
Oh, who?
Holden?
Holden? Down there?
Right-hand drive Corvette. We've been hearing that rumor all weekend.
You know, you got to get me what you're smoking, dude. Holden in Australia building right-hand drive Corvette.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Hey,
mid-engine
God.
jet-powered leva cars. Yup, that's what's going to happen. Count on it, save your money. They're a little more expensive. No, that's not it. Corvettes will be built in one place, Bowling Green, Kentucky. That's the way it is. No place else. It's what we refer to as made in America by Americans. Yes. All right, with that, I got to get rolling. These guys are up here to autograph whatever you got. I want to thank you for supporting us as always. You guys are the absolute best. You are the reason we are here. You are the reason we are here. Keep buying.